I'm Adam.
And I'm Acorn.
And this is Where There's a Williams, There's a Way.
Adam, guess what day it is tomorrow?
Let me guess. Friday?
Nope. Even better. It's picture day at school.
Ah, the day where every student suddenly becomes a fashion icon, and I'm convinced they've all secretly been practicing their poses in front of the mirror.
You got it. But guess who's gonna steal the spotlight this year?
Let me guess. You?
Bingo. I've been practicing my blue steel look all week, but there's just one thing missing.
What's that?
Hot sauce.
Hot sauce? For picture day?
Absolutely. A little spice never hurt anyone, right? Plus, it's my secret to that radiant glow.
I'm not sure hot sauce is exactly what the photographer meant by bringing out your best smile, you know?
Nonsense. Confidence is key, my friend, but nothing boosts confidence like a fiery kick of hot sauce.
In today's book, when young Temple was diagnosed with autism, no one expected her to talk, let alone become one of the most powerful voices in modern science. Yet the determined visual thinker did just that. Her unique mind allowed her to connect with animals in a special way, helping her invent groundbreaking improvements for farms around the globe. Let's get started. The Girl Who Thought in Pictures, the story of Dr. Temple Grandin, written by Julia Finley Mosca, illustrated by Daniel Rieley. If you've ever felt different, if you've ever been low, if you don't quite fit in, there's a name you should know. Temple Grandin's that name. In her tale you'll find glory. So get ready, get set, for this cowgirl's true story. In the city of Boston, one hot summer day, a sweet baby was born. It was Temple, hooray! Unique from the start, an unusual girl. She loved spinning in circles and watching things twirl. But some things she hated, like certain loud sounds, or bright crowded places, large cities and towns. Frilly dresses with tags made her itch, pull, and tug. Something else that she hated? A big, squeezy hug. A shy loner, this Temple, but when she got mad, when her feelings of stress and frustration got bad, quite a tantrum she'd throw, kick, holler, bang, shriek. Yet still, by age 3, not one word did she speak. She'll never be normal, was what some did say. Her brain's not quite right, you must send her away. Away? Not my Temple, her mother proclaimed. We will figure this out, you should all be ashamed. Then, little by little, though sometimes she balked, special teachers helped Temple, and one day she talked. And that thing with her brain, it was autism, see? She was different, not less, they all finally agreed. Like most kids her age, she loved ice cream and art. But the way Temple thought, that's what set her apart. If something was mentioned, for instance a fly, in her mind she'd see dozens of photos buzz by. When the time came for school, let's just say that was hard. Kids taunted and chased her all over the yard. They picked on poor Temple, how crazy it drove her. They teased her for saying things over and over. And over, and over, and over.
Look at her!
Until finally she snapped. Yes, she did. Lost her cool. Threw a book at a kid and was kicked out of school. No one really got Temple. But well, then again, the truth of it was, Temple didn't get them.
You need time away, said her mom. That's what's best. You'll go visit your aunt on a ranch way out west.
And guess what? Fitting in on a farm was less stress, since the pigs don't care if her hair was a mess. Quite a sweet spot she had for the cows in their herds, such big gentle beasts she knew nothing of words. As she watched her new friends, a thought popped in her head. These cows think like me, in pictures instead. At a new school that fall, Temple found more support, and a teacher who taught her, you'll never fall short. When you find what you're good at, like science, you'll soar. And that teacher was right, he had opened a door. So she built a machine like she'd seen on some farms, an invention that hugged her with boards and not arms. It worked. She had done it from memory, it's true. And just like the cows, it made Temple calm too. I'm special, she thought, like a bright shooting star. My attention to details could help me go far. Through her studies she learned there were farms not so kind. I will help them, she said, some solutions she'd find. And then something cool, can you guess, could it be? Off to college she went, a degree, she earned 3. And though ladies weren't experts on farms at that time, do you think that stopped Temple? No way, she did fine. Today in class we talked about respecting each other's differences. It's important to understand and appreciate everyone's unique qualities. I couldn't agree more. Diversity makes the world more interesting. That's right. And sometimes people may have differences that aren't immediately apparent, like autism, for example. It's important to understand and respect those differences too. Oh, absolutely. Everyone deserves respect and understanding. But hey, speaking of differences, have you tried that new hot sauce I found? It's out of this world. I haven't yet, but I'm sure it's just as fiery as your confidence. You bet it is. But hey, back to the topic. Respecting people with autism is crucial. It's like appreciating the different flavors of a hot sauce. Each one adds something unique and special. Just like how every student in my class brings something unique to our learning environment. Understanding and respecting those differences makes the world a better place, just like adding a dash of hot sauce to every meal makes it more exciting. We should celebrate our differences just like we celebrate the different flavors in hot sauce. Precisely. And maybe one day we'll even have a hot sauce that represents the diversity and inclusivity of our world. She stepped through that door and went forward, no tears. She took on the world, but at times she had fears. Because some things were scary, like people she'd meet, who'd ignore her ideas and, well, wouldn't be sweet. But she never gave up, learned her stuff through and through, like why cattle will circle and what makes them moo. To build better farms was her goal, she would do it. Be kind to our creatures, they have feelings, she knew it. And slowly but surely she changed many minds, until farm after farm built her awesome designs. Word spread about Temple, her fear is not so small. Temple Grandin, she's grand, she's the grandest of all. Now, for these things and more, she won honors and prizes. And a movie was made, but the biggest surprise is that girl with the future that couldn't be bleaker. Yes, the once silent girl, she's now a big speaker. Today she spreads hope with her stories and speeches. From New York to Sydney to Rome, Temple teaches. Each person is special, so unique in our minds. This world needs your ideas. It takes brains of all kinds. So here's the lesson. Feeling odd or offbeat, being different might just be what makes you so neat. Don't let doubt hold you back, not for 1 minute more. Stand tall like Temple, march right through that door. Dear reader, as a child, I was really glad that my mother always encouraged my ability in art. I encourage you to find something that you're good at and work on developing it. If you're interested in becoming a scientist like me, find cool new ways to look at things such as microscopes and telescopes, explore nature, think up your own hands-on science experiments. Keep learning, especially from your mistakes. Temple Grandin. Fun facts and tidbits from the author's chat with Temple. A spaced-out childhood. If it flew, I loved it, Temple said when asked about her childhood hobbies. As a little kid, I worshipped astronauts. In addition to playing with kites, airplanes, and spaceships, she was also fond of drawing. I'd have been lost in school without art class, she said. During her teenage years, Temple developed a new passion for television shows like Men into Space, The Twilight Zone, and The Man from U.N.C.L.E. I was a total Star Trek fan, she admitted. Her favorite character? Mr. Spock, of course, a lovable half-human who often had trouble relating to certain emotions. A real cowgirl movie. Only a few people in the world can say they've been the subject of a Hollywood movie, and Temple is one of them. In 2010, HBO released Temple Grandin starring actress Claire Danes, who won a Golden Globe Award for her role as the well-known scientist. The docudrama focused on Temple's early life with autism and her long accomplished career in the livestock industry. "I love the fact that my actual drawings were in the movie," she said, referring to the blueprints for her inventions. Temple said she was also glad that the film included the three most important people in her life. All the main characters in the movie, Mr. Carlock, Aunt Anne, and Mother, were shown very nicely.
You know, I've been thinking about a career change.
Oh, really? What's on your mind, Acorn?
I'm considering becoming a scientist. I mean, I've already got the brains, the charm, and let's face it, the good looks.
What kind of scientist are you thinking of becoming?
Oh, you know, something groundbreaking, like a baconologist.
Baconologist? I didn't know that was a thing.
Of course it's a thing. It's the scientific study of bacon. Imagine the possibilities. I'll be dissecting bacon strips, analyzing their crispy quotient, and determining the optimal cooking time.
I'm not sure if that's quite what scientists do, Acorn.
Oh, you doubt me? Just wait until I unveil my groundbreaking theory on the perfect bacon sandwich ratio. It's going to be revolutionary. It's going to just change breakfast worldwide.
That seems like a really messed up pursuit for a pig. But if you ever need a taste tester, I'm your guy. A signature look. When you picture Temple Grandin, one item of clothing probably comes to mind: cowboy shirts. Over the years, the famous animal scientist has built up an amazing collection of the tops, which she often likes to pair with one of her signature scarves. But Temple didn't always have such a confident and unique sense of style. "I had people who told me I had to clean it up," she admitted. As a child and young adult, she hated dressing up, especially in anything edgy. When she discovered cowboy shirts, which she prefers to wear over a soft cotton t-shirt, it just worked. And today, it's hard to find her in anything else. In 2011, Temple even wore her trademark look to the prestigious Golden Globe Awards ceremony in Hollywood. A woman in a man's world. Ask Temple about working on farms as an animal scientist in the 1970s, and the answer might surprise you. "That was worse than the autism was. Much worse," she said. Even with all the obstacles she faced as a child and teen, Temple said her greatest challenge in life was being a woman in a man's world. That was not easy. She added that during that time, the only women working in Arizona feedlots were secretaries in the office. So what kept Temple going when the odds seemed stacked against her? "I wanted to prove to people that I was not stupid, that I could do it, and that motivated me." A doorway to the future. A study of Temple's journey would not be complete without the mention of doors. You see, for Temple, they aren't simply a way to get in and out of a room, but a symbol of what's to come. In order to think about something abstract like my future, I have to have something I can actually visualize, like a door, she explained. Temple said she first came up with the idea as a young girl, when the suggestion of moving on to new experiences or places could be frightening. Picturing herself stepping through a doorway helped ease some of that anxiety. "That's the way I thought about everything," she admitted. A wordy accomplishment. Who would believe that a girl who didn't speak as a small child would someday travel the world as a famous speaker? If you've heard one of Temple's captivating lectures, then you know it's possible. Still, spreading her message in front of large crowds didn't always come easily. "I wasn't a good public speaker when I first started," she admitted. "When I was in graduate school, I panicked and I walked out of my first talk." So how did she get so good? A lot of practice and one particular secret weapon. "I made sure I had really good slides to cue me," she explained. "I was an awkward speaker, but I had fantastic slides."
I think I've cracked it.
Cracked what?
The ultimate solution for pig-human communication. Just like Temple Grandin did with the animals, I'm going to revolutionize the way pigs and humans interact.
How exactly do you plan to do that?
I'm going to design a piggy translator, a device that will decipher all of our oinks, grunts, and snuffles into human language.
That's ambitious. But I have to admit, it's an intriguing idea.
Maybe Temple Grandin could lend me a hoof with my translator idea. I'm not sure if she's dabbled into pig linguistics yet, but who knows? With your confidence, anything seems possible. Now, if only I could convince Farmer Joe to fund my project. Good luck with that. Maybe throw in a few extra adorable snorts during your next feeding time. That might just sway him. I'll have him eating out of the palm of my trotter in no time. And if you've enjoyed this video, I hope I won't have to sway you to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. I'm Adam, and I'm Acorn, and this is Where There's a Williams, There's a Way.
About Dr. Temple Grandin. Dr. Mary Temple Grandin, fondly known as Temple, was born on August 29, 1947 in Boston, Massachusetts. Despite facing many obstacles throughout her life, Temple has made it her mission to educate the world about two things: the importance of treating animals with compassion and autism, a condition affecting millions worldwide, including herself. At the age of 2, when she still hadn't begun to speak, Temple was mistakenly diagnosed with brain damage. It quickly became clear, however, that she had autism, a complex disorder of brain development that can affect a person's ability to communicate. In those days, many doctors thought children like Temple could not be treated and therefore recommended sending them away to live in special homes. Fortunately, Temple's mother, Eustacia Cutler, took her to a neurologist who recommended speech therapy. With assistance from special teachers and nurses, Temple finally began to speak around the age of 4. Still, she found it challenging to stay focused on certain tasks and to control her frustration in stressful situations. Like many people with autism, making a conversation with friends, reading facial expressions, and even understanding the importance of hygiene and grooming did not come naturally to Temple. These differences made it quite difficult for her to fit in with classmates at school. When she was 14 years old, she lost her temper and threw a book at a student who was teasing her. Unfortunately, she was asked to leave the school and not return. The summer following that dismissal marked a major turning point in Temple's life. She spent a few months living and working in her aunt's ranch in Arizona, where she developed a deep connection with animals. She was especially fond of cows and quickly realized they were visual thinkers. Like her, they noticed details about their surroundings that many people did not. Although Temple has always been careful to point out that not everyone with autism is a visual thinker, she often describes herself as someone who thinks in pictures. When she returned from Arizona, Temple began attending a new school, Hampshire Country School in New Hampshire. It was there that she met William Bill Carlock, a teacher and former NASA scientist who would become her lifelong friend and mentor. He immediately recognized that the 15-year-old had an unusual talent for remembering images, much like a computer is able to retrieve stored photos. Mr. Carlock encouraged her to use this special gift to her advantage. She also credits him with helping her develop a real interest in science. During her senior year, under Mr. Carlock's guidance, Temple built her first official invention, a squeeze machine, sometimes called the hug machine. It was based on a device that she saw on the farm, a pressurized chute that kept cows calm during their vaccine shots by gripping them in a nice, firm manner, much like a strong hug. Even though Temple did not like the sensation of being hugged by people, she found that she craved and appreciated the sense of calmness her machines brought her. After high school, Temple began attending college, something that many people thought would never be possible because of her autism. At Franklin Pierce University, called Franklin Pierce College at that time in New Hampshire, she continued to work on her squeeze machine. It took a lot of convincing, but the school allowed her to conduct a research study in which she observed the way students felt before and after using the device. Projects like this eventually led Temple to realize what she wanted to do with her life: study the behavior of farm animals and use what she learned to improve the way that they were treated. Her hard work and dedication to this goal enabled her to earn 3 degrees, including a PhD in animal science. Even with her impressive education, Temple still had a hard time getting her voice heard in the farming industry. Her career began in the 1970s, a time when hardly any women were experts in the field. But Temple was persistent. She continued to push her way onto farms, ranches, and meat processing plants, writing many articles for well-known livestock magazines and publications. Years of research led her to conclude that the way animals, especially cows, were transported and handled often caused them a lot of pain, stress, and fear. Temple noted that many cows were injured as they were moved from place to place on steep, slippery ramps in poorly lit facilities. She believed that such rough and careless treatment was unnecessary and cruel, even for those being raised only for their meat. Eager to improve things, Temple decided to put herself through some of the harsh process many cows endured on a daily basis, using her own animal-like intuition to see and feel things as they did. The most important findings of her experiments included the notion that cows prefer solid pen and chute walls to open fencing, which leaves them susceptible to loud sounds, frightening shadows, and other undesirable distractions. They also like well-lit areas and are often reluctant to enter tight, dark spaces or buildings. Using the data she collected, Temple was able to invent ways to make transporting safer and more comfortable for livestock. Among her most valuable contributions as an animal scientist are two inventions: the center track restrainer system, used to hold animals in gentle upright position on a conveyor belt, and the curved loading chute depicted in this book. Temple developed the latter after observing that herds prefer to move around their handler in a circular pattern. It keeps them calm. Her new and improved design employs solid walls and non-slip floors, both of which keep cattle from being spooked or injured as they move calmly through a curved walkway in a single file. In addition to these innovations, Temple also created an important evaluation method to ensure that major meat plants and retail treat their animals with dignity. Today, a large percentage of the world's meat producers use her compassionate system and procedures. Equally as important as her work with animals are her contributions with the autism community. Temple now travels the world to tell her story and inspire others. It is her belief that children with autism need early intervention and a good support system to motivate them. Much like her mentor, Mr. Carlock, she believes that encouraging children to find their own unique strengths is often the key to success. Throughout her long career, Temple has received many prestigious awards and honors, including being named a Fellow by the American Society of Animal Science and her induction into the American Academy of Arts and Sciences. As a prominent speaker, she has appeared on a number of popular television shows, and as an author of numerous books, she has twice landed on the New York Times bestseller list. In 2010 alone, she was inducted into the National Cowgirl Hall of Fame. Time magazine named her one of its 100 most influential people, and HBO produced Temple Grandin, an award-winning movie about her life. Today, Temple lives in Fort Collins, Colorado, where she admits that her biggest passion in life is her work, making a difference as an advocate for people with autism and for animals. She continues to speak, write, and conduct research about both topics, even finding time to teach as a professor of animal science at Colorado State University. One quote often attributed to Temple is, "I am different, not less." It is quite possibly the perfect way to describe her feelings about life with autism. Although some people might not understand, Temple has said that even if a cure were available, she would not wish to be cured of her autism. Without it, she believes she may not have become the amazing scientist she is.
Did you know the most viewed photograph in history is this old Windows default screen?